Which one would you read if you had to pick a book? Would you read this book or would you read this book? Hi, welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why I have this show is so that we can better understand how our minds work, so we can make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and of course, avoid falling into certain cognitive traps. So for today's cognitive bias, I'm going to ask you a question. Again, would you read this book or would you read this book if you really had to choose? Now, if you chose this book, more likely than not, it's because there's a cover on it, there's an image on it. Oh, it's Starbucks. We want to know more about what Starbucks does. And this one, you go, well, I don't know really what it is. It's just color. There's pretty bland. That's why I didn't pick it. Well, this one's about Amazon. So why do we pick this one more likely than picking this one? Do you judge a book by its cover? And more likely than not, most people would judge a book by its cover, regardless of how much you want to tell yourself that you don't. The thing is, we are gravitated to stuff that looks sparkly. We are gravitated to stuff that looks nice and appears good. Because once it looks nice, it looks flashy, we kind of go, wow, it must be good, or wow, it got my attention, I want to know more. And that is kind of like what the halo effect basically is. So basically, it's a tendency for positive impressions of a person, a company, a brand, or product in one area to positively influence a person's opinion or feeling on the whole thing. So without even thinking, we go, hey, this book must be a good book because look, it has a nice cover on it, there's an image on it, and it's about Starbucks, and Starbucks has a good brand, must be a good thing. But because we don't know anything about this cover, we just kind of go, well, you know what, that must not be a very good book because we don't know anything about it. And that's basically what the halo effect does. We kind of judge a book by its cover all the time. We kind of judge appearance all the time. There's a common saying that when, oh, look, if that person looks clean, looks sharp, looks attractive, then they must be intelligent. But that may or may not be true because we don't actually know what their characteristics are. We don't know what their personality is. We don't know anything, but we're basing it just on appearance. And that could be very, very dangerous because that's why there's so many cons out there. That's why there's so many liars out there, because they know how to play the system. So we have to protect ourselves from falling into that halo effect. Same with companies. Companies like to make their image look good because they know once their image looks good, people will gravitate to it. But this actually happens in a lot of different scenarios as well. There were studies done at elementary schools. They asked the teachers, well, who do you think is smart? Who do you think gets better grades? And they just kind of look at the room and, oh, that person's more engaged or that student's more engaged. They must have higher marks or they must be more intelligent and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with the students. They asked the students, which ones are your favorite teachers or which teacher do you think is the best teacher? And normally they go, well, this one looks nicer and they dress nicer. I think that one's a better teacher. So even at an early age, we are suffering or we fall prey to the halo effect. We judge the book by its cover. We judge things based on how it looks. But in reality, there's been a study shown that actually the people who aren't as attractive are usually 10 times more nicer because they have to fight through that adversity. They fight through that stereotype. They fight through that effect and actually are a lot more nicer than people who are actually attractive. And we kind of think that, oh, they're attractive, they must be nice. Well, that's not necessarily the case because we don't know who they are. We don't know what they do. So that is why the first impressions are so important. That's why when you go to an interview, you want to look your best. You want to be your best. You want to showcase the best. And you want to be able to showcase that your first impression will catch their attention so that you can get the next interview and the next interview and the next interview. Same thing with going on stages to speak. You want to show your best. You want to be your best so that when people hear you and see you, they want you for the next time and the next time and the next time. The thing is, you have to be pure and consistent throughout. You don't want to appear nice the first time, and the next time you go and appear very, very negative and very not supportive of people, and that will just diminish your brand and diminish all the hard work that you've done. So that is the halo effect. You have to make sure that you do have that good first impression. You don't want to waste all that stuff. That's why a lot of brands create that good image by getting good celebrities or celebrities that's known in a good sense to do testimonials or to hold their products. Because it gets to that thought process of, well, if it's good enough for them, then it's good enough for me. So that's the halo effect, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please go back and watch some of my other episodes on Unlocking Mind. And of course, we have a lot of other shows, the Peak Potential Success Show and the Make More Mind Bites, and of course, the Master Mind Bites that's up every single week. So until next time, thank you very much for your support, your likes, your subscriptions, and your comments. I love seeing those comments. And until then, today is the day to lock your peak potential. I'll see you later.